T. Welcome to the AFC Championship preview and prediction here on the Louie T Network. I, of course, am your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me on your continued wall-to-wall coverage of the 2019 NFL playoffs. This is going to be an intriguing matchup, to say the least. I think this weekend is going to be fantastic. But then again, I said the same thing about last week. And in the AFC, we got two duds. I don't think that's going to be the case. And as I said on the on the Saints-Rams breakdown, we got it right in both conferences. We got the best four teams in football. And as I've said on numerous occasions, I said this on the Overtime show last week. I said it on my podcast. I don't think we can go wrong with the matchup that we get in the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter who wins either of the two games. We're going to get great football either way. We're going to get a fantastic matchup with tremendous and countless storylines from any matchup that we get of the four teams in these games. But we're going to talk specifically about this AFC Championship game. New England Patriots, your 2 seed, taking on the number 1 seeded Kansas City Chiefs. And I think it's been an improbable run to the championship game by the Chiefs. They came out of nowhere. I sold them so short this year, especially going into the season. I said this team was going to be 5-11. Shame on me. Chiefs fans ridiculed me before the season started. They told me that I didn't know what I was talking about. I said, we'll see. They were right. I was wrong. And I told you, when I'm wrong, I'll be the first to tell you that I'm wrong. When I'm right, I'm going to tell you I'm right as well. And I was flat out wrong about this Chiefs football team. And I could see it early on in the season. One thing that we all said, they can't play defense. Their defense is going to be their undoing. Well, they're here. Their defense played their best game, arguably, of the season last week against the Colts. I think the cold had something to do with that, but Andrew Luck wasn't good, and you have to credit the Chiefs' defense for him not being good. That being said, this is a totally different animal they're dealing with in Tom Brady and the B&B winning factory, a team that has been to now 8 straight AFC Championship games. This is a little bit different for them. They've been on the road before, but it's not often that they're playing the AFC Championship game on the road. In past trips on the road, they haven't been as successful. And when they've lost in the AFC Championship game, generally it's been on the road. The Ravens in 2012, the Broncos in 2015. We've seen this pattern before. When they lose in the championship game, generally it's on the road. This is an opportunity for the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl. They haven't been in the Super Bowl since the Super Bowl was first coined, the Super Bowl. And the AFL and the NFL first were starting to try to get the merger going. It's been a long time. I said all that to say this. It's been a long time. They haven't hosted an AFC Championship game ever, I think. I don't know if they've ever seen. I know Arrowhead has never seen an AFC Championship game. So this is uncharted territory for the Chiefs, to say the least. And this is going to be a lot of fun to watch at 6:45 on Sunday afternoon. The NFC Championship would already have commenced, and we will already know one participant in the Super Bowl, and this game will be left to decide who the team from the first game that won will be playing in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks. So let's get to the keys to victory for both teams in this football game. We start with the road team and the New England Patriots, and we start with their first key to victory. And I think this is a big one. And, because the Patriots, and I talked about 8 straight AFC Championship games and all of the winning that the B&B winning factory has done come postseason time. This is their time of year, January into February. This is when they do their best work. And so this is like home for them. And they've got a distinct advantage in this game in the experience department. They've been here. They know what it takes. This moment won't be too big for the New England Patriots. All right? They understand what it's going to take for them to get to the Super Bowl. They've done it a million times. And so they're not going to come into this game. Yeah, they're going to be juiced and they're going to be amped. And yeah, they're going to have butterflies in their stomach. If you're an athlete, if you're a competitor, it doesn't matter how many times you've done something. There's always going to be that nervous energy. But once the ball is kicked off, guess what? The Patriots are going to treat this just like another game, okay? And so that's where they are able to separate themselves from a team like the Chiefs that are young, haven't been here before, don't know what to expect. They're going to have a bunch of adrenaline. Their adrenaline probably won't stop flowing at an alarming rate until probably well into the first quarter, if not the second quarter. They're going to be amped and juiced. Meanwhile, the Patriots are going to be even keel, and I think that is something they need to take full advantage of. Start fast. Your experience gives you an edge in this game. Start fast. The Chiefs are going to come out. They may make a mistake or two. Mahomes may miss a pass or two early because he's so amped. A guy may drop a pass because he's just a little bit a little bit over the top early in this game, nervous energy. They may make some mistakes. They may have a turnover or two early in this game that you may be able to take advantage of. Start fast if you're the Patriots. You're on the road. It's going to be a hostile environment, one that you haven't seen this season. This is the type of environment that can rattle the football team. You've got the experience. You've been in some hostile environments before. You've got to use that experience to your advantage if you're the New England Patriots going into this football game. Start fast. You're going to have an opportunity to start fast, I believe, and use the Chiefs' energy against them early because they're going to be nervous. They haven't been here before. This is a big spot. This is for this is for a trip to the Super Bowl. That's going to sit in. The magnitude of this game is going to impact them early. If you're the Patriots, you have to take advantage of that. Speaking of which, protect Tom Brady. Protect TB12 is the next key to victory. That was the key last week. It's a key every week because we've seen Tom Brady under duress. It's not a pretty sight. When Tom is protected like he was last week, the Chargers didn't get a sniff on Tom last week. I mean, they weren't even close. And what did Tom do? He proceeded to get surgical on those bastards last week. Scalpel, sponge, let me get surgical on these bitches. And he went to work. I mean, he dissected those boys. And I told you, it doesn't matter. The funny thing was, everybody was talking about no Josh Gordon and the lack of weapons for the Patriots. I said, what? Are you crazy? You know who these are? You know who this guy is? You know who these guys are? Brady doesn't need to have weapons to dissect your ass. We've seen him. I told you, he's the MacGyver of quarterbacks. Get this man a piece of gum, a rubber band, a paper clip, and a couple of safety pins, and this man is going to find a way to get it done. And I said, if that means throwing it to James White 15 times, then so be it. What did he do? He threw it to James White 15 times last week. Okay? Edelman came alive. Like, Gronk had one catch in the game. One catch. Like, and that catch didn't come till, what, late stages of the third, early fourth, somewhere around there. Like, Brady will find a way. So, all you got to do is protect him, and he will do the rest. You don't protect Tom Brady, it's going to be a long afternoon. And as I mentioned before, when the Patriots have lost on the road in these championship games, what's the common denominator? What's the common thread? Pressure. We'll talk about that a little bit later on when we get to the Chiefs. But if you're the Patriots, your top priority offensively, protect Tom Brady. The next priority in the game is your third key, PlayStation. Sony Michel last week was exceptional. I thought he had a chance to be against that Chargers football team. That's why I named him a key to the game, because I thought they could run it on the Chargers. I watched the Bengals. I keep bringing this up, and I know I sound like a broken record, but I watched the Cincinnati Bengals with no A.J. Green and no Red Rifle go into L.A. and run all over the Chargers defense with Joe Mixon. So if Joe Mixon and a backup quarterback can go into L.A. and run it, then I thought the Patriots could do the same. I've seen teams run all over the Chiefs this year. I thought the Colts let them off the hook last week by not running Marlon Mack enough. You're not going to make the same mistake. You're going to run the football. It's going to be cold, probably somewhere in the 20-degree range. You're going to need to run it. I expect you to run it. PlayStation. Going to take pressure off of Brady, allow you to stay balanced, and give you some opportunities to take some shots down the field. Sony Michel, huge key in this game. PlayStation. Going to get it done if you're going to advance to yet another Super Bowl if you're the Patriots. Number 4, key to the game for the Patriots. Take something away. All right, look, at the end of the day, the Chiefs are so prolific offensively, you can't stop them altogether. You can only hope to slow them down. No one stopped the Chiefs this year. There have been teams that have slowed them down. I watched the Ravens slow them down to the point where they should have won that football game, but they just couldn't do enough. But they slowed down the Chiefs offensively. They didn't stop them. Mahomes made play on after play on fourth down. They didn't stop them. They still scored 20-some-odd, damn near 30 points. But they had a chance, did the Ravens in that first game. So what I'm saying to you is you're not going to stop this Chiefs offense. They're too prolific. They're too dynamic of an offense. But what you do need to do is take something away. You can't have Damian Williams, like he did last week, go for about a ball 25. And have Patrick Mahomes throw for 250, 275, 300, 325 and expect to win. Like, they can't have their cake and eat it too. You got to take something away. If Mahomes is going to get you for $3 bills, all right then, Damian Williams, you got to sit your ass down today. You got to have 15 rushes for 43 yards. You got to sit your black ass down. All right? Now, if Damian Williams wants to go off, then Mahomes got to struggle. They can't have it both ways. So what I'm telling you is you've got to find a way to take something away. You can't allow the Chiefs to have a two-way go of it. They can't run it and throw it too. If they do both of those things in this game, you're going to lose. I'm just telling you. You're going to lose the football game. End of discussion. And finally, I said this last week. I meant it last week. I told you they don't get a chance to do this very often, but nobody does it better than the New England Patriots. Number 5, play the underdog card. You did it last week. You played the underdog card, and you heard Brady after the game. Nobody was giving us a chance. Man, shut up, okay? People were giving you a chance. They just thought that the Chargers were the better team and they had a chance to go into Foxborough and win. But people like me were giving you a chance. People that are smart, that understand the game of football and have seen this movie before, we knew you were going to win that game. Stop your nonsense. But that's what I was talking about. Nobody plays the underdog card better than Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. And they're going to do it again this week. Why? Because the Chiefs are favored to win this game. So again, they're going to tell everybody in that building, everybody in that locker room, nobody's giving us a chance. Nobody thinks we're good enough. They're going to be singing that song in the locker room, and they should be. Okay? Like I said, like with Alabama, they don't get to play the underdog card very often. But guess what next year they're going to do after getting this ass whooping by Clemson this year? Guess what they're going to do? Guess what Nick Saban's going to do every week next year? Poor Coppin State. Poor teams that they got on the schedule. Everyone's getting their ass torn up next year because he's going to tell them every week, you're not good enough. You saw what happened last year? You're not good enough. And when you think you're good enough, look at what Clemson did to us in the national championship game. You don't get to pull that card very often when you're a really dominant football team, but the Patriots are going to get to pull that card yet again this week. And if I'm the Patriots, I'm playing that shit all the way to Atlanta. If you're the Patriots, play that underdog card and play it hard and see if it gets you what it got you last week. A dominant performance. And this time, instead of a trip to the championship game, it'll be a trip to the Super Bowl in Atlanta. Now, let's go to the Chiefs and their keys to victory. And we start with their first key to victory. Showtime! Patrick Mahomes, look, by far and away, he's the MVP. I don't want to hear anybody else's name in the discussion. Yep, Breeze had a good year. Yep, Phillip Rivers had a good year. Yep, yada, yada, yada. Aaron Donald had a monstrous year. Yep, I hear all of that. Patrick Mahomes threw for over 5,000 yards and had 50 touchdowns. The next closest guy in terms of touchdowns was Andrew Luck with 39. The guy was magnificent in 2018, and he's been stellar in the playoffs. Played well last week. Didn't do anything extraordinary, but he used his legs on a scoring touchdown, on a rushing touchdown. He threw for a touchdown. He was exceptional last week. I expect him to continue. I don't know if he threw for a touchdown. I know he ran for a touchdown, but he was exceptional last week. I expect him to do the same this week. He's got to play his best brand of football because, again, last time these two teams met, he made some mistakes in that game, and to me, that was the difference. He had a rough first half with 2 interceptions, including one in the end zone that was a backbreaker in a game that you ultimately lost by 3 points. He played exceptionally well in the second half, but he struggled in the first half, and now he's gotten that out of the way. He's gotten that out of the way. He's gotten his first matchup versus Tom Brady out of the way. It's under his belt. He can exhale, woosah. Now he knows what to expect. Hopefully this moment isn't too big for him because as Patrick Mahomes goes, so do the Kansas City Chiefs. That's a known fact. He plays well, they're tough to beat. He doesn't play well, you can go ahead and book another trip to the Super Bowl for the New England Patriots. So showtime is a big key to victory for this Chiefs football team. Number 2, second key to victory for the Chiefs. What time is it? Dame time. What time is it? Dame time. And he backs in the house. Ooh, 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 ooh. And he backs in the house. Ooh, 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 ooh. It's Damian Williams time. And you know what? It's funny in this league that you always hear the mantra, next man up. You know, one guy's injury or one guy's misfortune is another guy's opportunity. I don't think we've seen that narrative play out any more so than in Kansas City with Damian Williams. The Kareem Hunt situation, Kareem Hunt was having another career year, and he was well on his way to setting career highs in many statistical categories. And then he had the issue in the situation come to light with the video. He was released, and in comes Damian Williams, and we think that there's let me not speak for you guys. I told you I don't like speaking for you guys. I thought there was going to be a precipitous drop-off in the run game and the production you got from the back because you remember Kareem Hunt was also a huge contributor in the passing game as well as a receiver. So I thought there was going to be a precipitous drop-off just from the production that they got from the running back position. I was so wrong. They're getting the same amount of production out of the run game, if not more so, out of Damian Williams. And he's an excellent receiver out of the backfield. That was his best attribute coming to Kansas City, is he could catch it. He caught it with the Dolphins. He caught it with the Titans. I knew he could catch it out of the backfield. What I didn't know was how dynamic he could be as a runner. He was exceptional last week. He was one of the difference makers last week. The first touchdown run of the game where he was able to juke a guy, that's what he's brought to the table, his ability to make guys miss out of space, get yards after contact. He's been outstanding for them, and they're going to need that again in this game to stay balanced. You're going to have to take some pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. Feel like you don't want him to feel like the game is all on his shoulders. Run it like you did last week. Mahomes played within himself last week. Why? Because Damian Williams was eating last week. It's Dame time again this week. And if he plays like he did last week, we're going to have a really, really big chance of winning this football game. If he doesn't, and it's all on Mahomes, you could see mistakes like you did the first time around these two teams met, and you could see a Patriots victory like we saw the first time around when these two teams met. So I think Damian Williams is a huge key to victory for the Chiefs in this game. Chiefs key to victory number 3, weapons of mass destruction. Look, this Chiefs offense is ridiculous. I mean, the amount of playmakers that they have on offense is unmatched in this league. They got elite stuff at every single position. And now with the way Damian Williams is playing, you could argue that he's playing at an elite level right now. They had Kareem Hunt. He was playing at an elite level. And I think Damian Williams is coming, and he's playing at an elite level right now. But you look at the quarterback position, Mahomes is going to be the MVP of the league. So that's elite quarterback play. You got elite wide receiver play with Tyreek Hill, and hell, you could throw in Samuel Watkins as well. He came back and looked great last week. So if you can get him to play like he did last week, that's an extra added coup for this Chiefs offensive passing attack. And then, of course, Travis Kelce, who I think is the best tight end in all of football. I know there's a lot of people making a claim for Zach Ertz. You can go ahead and take that. Ertz is right there, but to me, Kelce is the best package of blocking, catching the football, and getting yards after the catch. I'll take Travis Kelce any day of the week. So from that standpoint, they can hurt you in a number of ways. Not to mention they can sprinkle in a little bit of Chris Conley. They can sprinkle in a little bit of Demarcus Robinson. They can sprinkle in a little bit of their other tight end, Demetrius Harris. I mean, the list goes on and on. Charkandrick West comes in, can give you a little something. They have so many weapons on this football team. It's not even funny. So they've got weapons of mass destruction. Can you stop Hill? Can you stop Kelce? Can you stop both of them? The answer is no. One of them is going to get off on you. If both of them get off on you, it's that much harder. Not to mention Samuel Watkins is back and healthy. He can hurt you as well. There are too many options for them to go to. If you're the Chiefs, spread the football around judiciously. You've got weapons of mass destruction. Use it to destroy this Patriots defense. You go to Chiefs key to victory number 4, jonesing. All right, you jonesing in this football game. If you want to win, you got to have that ability to impact Tom Brady. Brady doesn't have issues with guys coming off the edge. Unless they're winning immediately, like D Ford and Justin Houston, 5'5", 5'0", coming off the edge, he's not worried about that if those guys aren't winning immediately. I mean, and not immediately. You got to win immediately to get to Brady because all he's going to do is step up. If those tackles do just enough to push those guys around, and there's a pocket insulating Tom Brady and he's got enough space to step up, if there's pocket integrity, he's just going to step up and deliver the rock. This is where you impact Brady the most. Brady cannot stand interior pressure. When the Ravens beat him in 2012, there was interior pressure that affected Tom Brady. When the Broncos beat him in 2015, Von Miller was an absolute animal, but he had help. You had the Jacksonville Jaguars defensive lineman, I can't think of his name right now, but the one that left the Broncos in free agency, went to Jacksonville, he was an absolute animal in that game, along with Wolf. They got interior pressure on Tom Brady and harassed him, and they only rushed 4 that entire game. And that front 4 posed a big threat up the middle, especially, and that's the pressure that Brady can't stand the most. If you're going to win this game, to me, the single biggest key defensively for you to win this football game is Chris Jones. His 15.5 sacks during the regular season, those were impactful sacks. Last week, he didn't have a single sack, but what he did do was collapse the pocket and consistently get in Andrew Luck's face and bat the football down. If he can do that to Tom Brady, harass him, he doesn't necessarily have to get sacked. Sacks are great, and if you can get to Brady a couple of times and harass him early, that will really rattle Brady's cage. But if he can't get to Brady, if he could just collapse the pocket so that Brady can't step up, then that makes it a lot more feasible for 5'5" and 5'0" to come off the edge and get to Brady. And also, it makes Brady uncomfortable, and you may be able to bat down some balls. Maybe one of those end up in the hands of one of those defenders up front. Either way, Chris Jones, to me, is the single biggest key to victory on the defensive side of the football for the Chiefs in this game. He's the guy that can get the kind of pressure that can derail Brady and get him off his spot and make him uncomfortable. If Chris Jones plays his best brand of football, the Chiefs will have a chance defensively. If he doesn't, and they can't get any interior pressure in this game, they're going to struggle, and most likely Brady is going to tear them apart. So I know the performance they had defensively last week was impressive. That's not going to happen a second week in a row. I know they tried to play the disrespect card. Nobody's talking about our defense. Everybody's disrespecting us. We're disrespecting you for a reason. You've been one of the worst defenses statistically we've seen in quite some time. I don't think that's changed. I just think you found an opponent that played right into your strengths last week. This week, they're going to scheme up to dominate you defensively. You're going to have to change the game by having individual players win matchups and make plays. D Ford, Justin Houston, but most importantly, Chris Jones going to have to step up and make plays. If he doesn't, you're not going to win this football game. I'm telling you right now. Unless you plan on winning another 43-40 shootout. I'm just telling you. And finally, this is a big key too. This is not to be understated nor undersold. The fifth and final key to victory for the Chiefs. Beat them, not yourself. They're not going to beat themselves. They're the New England Patriots. They've been here before. They know what it takes to win. They're not going to beat themselves. They're just not going to do it. All right? They're not going to give you any more opportunities than you already have to win the football game. If you're going to win this football game, it's going to be on your merit and your merit alone. The Patriots aren't going to turn it over multiple times unless you get to Brady. Unless you get to Brady, then some turnovers may take place. But I'm just telling you right now, Sony Michel, he's liable to cough one up. All right? But at the end of the day, they don't beat themselves. They've been to 8 straight AFC championship games and about 5 out of the last 7 Super Bowls for a reason. This is what they do. So if you're the Kansas City Chiefs, they don't need any of your help. Not one bit. They don't need any short fields. They don't need any turnovers. Cordero Patterson can't have a 77-yard kickoff return to set them up with prime field position. They can't have any extra cracks at scoring. They can't have any short fields. You can't shank a punt. You can't have a punt blocked. None of that in this game. None of it. You have to stay sharp for 60 minutes. You let up at any point in this game, and you may find yourself on the short end of the stick. They don't need your help. Beat them, not yourself, in this game if you want to win. I said all of that to say this. I talked about this on the Saints-Rams preview that every one of the rematches that we've gotten in the postseason thus far has gone the way of the team that lost the first game, except for the Saints in the Dome. That's a different dynamic. But the Cowboys beat the Seahawks the second time around. The Chargers beat the Ravens the second time around. I really feel like the Chiefs are going to beat the Patriots the second time around. I really feel like this is the Chiefs' time. They've put themselves in a position at home to take care of business. If this game were in Foxborough, I'd be going with the Patriots, but it's not. It's in Kansas City, and I think that makes a difference. I think the Chiefs have what it takes to take down Tom Brady and the New England Patriots. We've talked about this defense all year long. If the defense steps up and gets pressure on Brady, they have a chance to win. If they don't and Brady's able to carve them up, I could be wrong here. But I've got a sense that Chris Jones is going to be a man possessed in the middle of that defense. He's going to make some plays. He's going to make Brady uncomfortable. I really feel like the Chiefs have enough to get it done, and they have what it takes to get it done and move on to the Super Bowl. Who would have thought that the Kansas City Chiefs would be representing the AFC in the Super Bowl? I just never thought in my wildest dreams that this could happen anytime soon. But here we are with the Chiefs taking care of the New England Patriots at home in Arrowhead, 30-24 in a very good football game in which the Chiefs find a way to win down the stretch. Give me the Chiefs to advance. Give me the Saints to advance. And we'll have Saints-Chiefs in Super Bowl, 53 now? 52, 53, one of them. We'll have Saints-Chiefs in the Super Bowl. And that should be one hell of an offensive fireworks spectacular. But that's my prediction. What's yours? Give it to me in the comment section below. Who do you think is going to win this game? Score and more. Who do you have winning this game? Why do you have them winning this game? Give me a big play that you think is going to turn this game on its head. Give me something. I need it in the comment section. I, of course, am your man, Louie T. Remember, check out the Louie T Network podcast. New episode out, episode number 35. It's a Way Back Wednesday episode. Tons of great content there, so check it out. And make sure you spread the word, man. If you know someone that loves football, tell them to check out the Louie T Network podcast, man. We changing the game over here. And remember, if it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage. It could be. Subscribe to the Louie T Network if you haven't already done so. And know where you can find me after this game meets its conclusion for the AFC Championship Overtime show, where we break down the game and take your comments live on the air. So join me for that at the conclusion of this game as well. So I'm your man Louie T signing off. I'll see you on Sunday. Have a good one. Who you got? Take care.